You are now watching this Rease Live. Yeah,
007 James Bond, the where I wear a suit and a tie.
In 1997, the San Antonio Spurs were one of the worst teams in the entire NBA,
Yes, they
finishing
were.
the season with just 20 wins and with a rookie head coach leading the way. Their future was uncertain. Their two best players were an aging Dominique Wilkins just 1 year away from his last NBA season, and their franchise player in David Robinson, who was sidelined with a season-ending injury that would linger for the rest of his career. The franchise was in a downward spiral with no end in sight.
Yes.
But what they did have was one more chance to make it right. Coming off the worst season in franchise history, the Spurs were given the third best odds to get the first overall pick in the 1997 draft.
Yes.
Exactly what the organization needed to rejuvenate their roster. But according to pre-draft evaluations, the gap between the potential first pick and the third pick was massive. Get the third pick and settle for a small forward out of Utah named Keith Van Horn, or win the lottery and land on the best NBA prospect in over a decade, a 4-year starter out of Wake Forest by the name of Tim Duncan. And on the day of the draft lottery, the future of the Spurs franchise and the future of the NBA would change forever.
The second pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Look at this shit here.
And that means that the first pick in the 1997 NBA draft
How they
goes
even got
to the
footage of
San
this?
Antonio Spurs.
How they got footage of
Congratulations.
See this guy right here?
No.
That's Spurs chairman Peter Holt. And in this moment, he was the happiest man on earth because he just won the first overall pick in the 97 NBA draft. Who he would pick was already a foregone conclusion. But not Peter or anyone else at the time knew that the Spurs just won the rights to one of the greatest players in the history of the game. And this very moment was the beginning of one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. And now 26 years later, luck would have it that the Spurs have found themselves right in the middle of another historic night once again, because they now have the rights to the #1 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. And the prospect they plan on picking up is claimed to be bigger and better than anything we have ever seen. As we get closer to draft day, the hype surrounding Victor Wembanyama is growing by the minute.
Look at
Experts and analysts claiming he's the greatest prospect in the
NBA history. LeBron, Magic Johnson. Look at what's going on here, man. So you know I had to double it. I had to give him that high overall. The greatest draft pick ever, I had to give him an 84 overall being drafted. The highest players usually get is like an 80, 79, 81. I had to go 84 for this fuck. I had to give him the highest overall of all time because they expecting him to be the greatest of all time. Now, will he be an injury case and flop out the league is another story. But in my career, I made sure he the next Tim Duncan because it would be more entertaining that way. I don't know what else to do. You goofy ass.
The history of the sport. Some even claiming he's the best prospect of any sport ever. The franchise that gets him believed to have hit the basketball jackpot that will set them up for 2 decades of success and championships. But how good can one prospect actually be? Fans already talking about future championships for the Spurs since they've essentially landed Victor. But turning potential greatness into real winning and championships is a task that very few players have ever been capable of doing. Today's video is sponsored by
Spurs now. He could have that Giannis effect if he eats right. No, you need to stop eating, you hungry ass. Look at you. You hear Wembanyama and you think food. Look at you.
Have won a Finals MVP, maybe 4 or 5. Out of the last 25 #1 overall draft picks, how many do y'all think have won a Finals MVP?
Finals MVP. Look at the list. Finals MVP. Hurry up, hurry up. Look at the list. Look at the list. Look at the list. Finals MVP. Damn, only LeBron. Damn, only LeBron. Chad, it's only Bron. That's why he the greatest of all time.
Maybe 4 or 5? How about 1? There has been one #1 overall pick in the last 25 seasons who has won a Finals MVP. But finals MVPs are about the toughest thing to win in all of basketball.
Yes, it
so
is.
what about regular season MVPs?
All right, so we got LeBron. That's 1. We got 2 with Derrick Rose. Damn. It's only 2. Damn, life is hard. Look at this. These number 1 draft picks ain't even, It's only 2 on the list.
How many of the last 25 first overall picks have won at least one of those? 2. LeBron James and Derrick Rose. That's it. But how about this?
What?
How many of the last 25 number 1 overall picks do you think have won a championship?
Championship. LeBron, Kyrie, AD. So that's 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. Wiggins is 4. Only 4. Wait, do Blake Griffin got 1? I don't know. He be on the bench of teams. I don't know. Wiggins got 4. That's 4. Does Elton Brand y'all know? It's only, who else got 1? Dwight ain't beat the Lakers.
They could be a role player for all I care. As
Andrew Bogut. Yeah. 5. Bogut.
long as they have
a
a ring, it counts. But the answer is still just 6.
6?
Winning in the
What year did he win? When the hell did Dwight win? Oh, he was on the Lakers. I fucking hate Dwight.
NBA is very, very hard to do. But fans and experts are already putting this burden on a kid who hasn't even been drafted yet. But we've done this before. Unrealistic hype and expectations met with inevitable disappointment. It feels like just yesterday, Zion Williamson was being regarded as the greatest basketball prospect of the decade. And yet here we are, 4 years later, and Zion has played in just 29 games over the last 2 seasons.
That's why I made him flop out my league. I made him flop. His overall dropped down to a 74 right now. He's at a 74 overall. Started at an 88, and now he's a 74 3 years later. I made him flop out of my league. He keep getting injured, Chad. I can't do it.
And has yet to play in a single playoff game. Great player, but as of right now, far from the franchise-altering force he was hyped up to be. Here's another player who was said to be a generational prospect coming into the NBA, nicknamed the Fresh Prince, being that he was the successor to LeBron King James.
Ben Simmons.
This is Ben Simmons,
trash ass bitch.
a player that was too afraid to take a shot
Look at your scary ass.
in a playoff game and peaked in his 2nd season in the league.
I made him flop out the league too. He a 70. He literally a 70 overall. He flopped out my league too. So did fucking Lonzo Ball. I don't play around with these hoopers. I don't play around with them. He got a lingering back injury. He ain't coming back. He's not coming back, Chad. He got a lingering back. He got lost confidence. His love of the game is gone. I don't care. Stop slandering Ben, you bald bum. No, I'm going to keep slandering because it's fun to do. This nigga big for nothing. Look at his scary ass. Let's look at what I did to him. Look at where Ben Simmons. Look at him, 68 overall. 68 overall. We 3 years later. Look at his stats. Yeah, how you go from 14 points a game down to 4? He ain't never been the same since. From 14 down to 4. Now he averaging 1 a game, is trash ass. And Zion next. Right after I advanced this season, he drops down to a 76, 74. Right when I advanced this season. Yeah, they lucky they drafted Xavier Booker. They already drafted his replacement. He right out of there. He about to get right out of there. Look at him. Went from 27 down to 18 the last 3 years, and it's going to drop again. Yeah. He can't stay healthy. That's basketball. But chat don't know nothing about it. And Lonzo only a 70. He keep hurting himself. That's the facts of the game. And you lucky I don't make LaMelo start getting injured too. Because I don't know if I can trust him either.
We do this to young players far more often than you would think.
Ooh-wee. Lonzo don't deserve that. Shut up. You don't know. He out all next season. Did you know that? He don't deserve it. He's out next season already. He's out already the whole next year. What, you think I did this for nothing? He can't hoop. He can't play no more.
NBA players far more often than you would think. DeAndre Ayton is a solid NBA player. Nowhere near a superstar, but he could be a key piece on a championship-winning team. Now, would you believe that just 3 months before he was drafted, he was labeled as a, quote, anomaly? In the moment,
No, we didn't. What we didn't know about DeAndre Ayton is he wanted to be a power forward, so he never could be a superstar. He wanted to be a power forward. He asked.
it always feels like the next guy up is going to be the guy. And then shortly after, we forget about the unwarranted comparisons and move on to the next guy. But to really understand how rare it is to draft a player who becomes an all-time great, stays healthy, and stays loyal to the franchise that drafted him, we have to look at the teams and players who actually did it. If we're talking about transcendent players who led the team that drafted them to multiple championships, then that list only includes 7 players who were drafted in the modern NBA. Over 3,000 players drafted since 1980, and 7 of them went on to be a loyal, franchise-altering talent.
Yeah, Chad, that's a lot of pressure to put on Wembanyama, so I don't know if he's going to live up to that hype. LeBron should damn sure be on this list. He got Cleveland a ring. I'm mad now. LeBron did his job. He came back and sealed the deal. He came back. Yeah, he left, but he came back. He returned. He returned. What we eating for dinner? I have to cook. I don't know. I want something with them greens.
These players right here are icons, legends in their franchise, and
read, Goofy. I don't want to read. They didn't come around often. Players who led the team that drafted them to multiple championship. Oh, multiple. I don't care if the Hornets drafted Kobe. He's a Laker. He said multiple, dumbass. Well, listen here, you fuck. I don't like y'all. This is y'all problem. Y'all are no fun, man. Y'all just don't want LeBron to be one of the greatest. And that's the only thing you want.
To the game, and they only come around about once in a decade. Now, if Victor is as good as advertised, he could be added to this list one day. But the path to get there is long and riddled with players who fell short. But in the NBA, even the stars, superstars, and once-in-a-generation talents struggle to win the ultimate prize. Luka Doncic has been a phenom since he entered the NBA, so far exceeding all pre-draft.
Yeah, he gonna leave this. He gonna leave the Mavs because Kyrie leaving. They fired Jason Kidd who fucked over Christian Wood, so Christian Wood leaving. Christian Wood was the second best option they got in the free agency, but he already leaving because Jason Kidd didn't give him no minutes. And Kyrie wanted to be a Laker, so Luka by himself.
Draft expectations. And yet 5 seasons into his NBA journey, and he has yet to see the finals, and even missed the playoffs in this last season. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball, but even he had to abandon the team that drafted him to join a juggernaut of a team to win a championship.
He ain't had to, he wanted to, his trash ass. He was 3 games. You were 1 game away from the finals for the 2nd year in a row. Trash ass bitch.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid. The list of all-time great players who have yet to win a title or find any real success in the playoffs is massive, which makes
Luka missed the playoffs because of Kyrie. Now here y'all go with this narrative. How can a 25 point per game, 50% shooter be a fucking bad reason to have him on your team? You just want to make up stories to create this narrative that Kyrie is a plague. This boy give you 25 a night on 50% shooting. He's a bucket and a half, extremely efficient, extremely hard working when he's on the court. He's not a liability on defense. The team ain't had no rebounding. They traded away all their wing players. They didn't have anything left when they got it to get Kyrie. Are you dumb? They gave away the pieces that make a team for an individual. It takes more than one person to build a dominant team. Are you pissing me off on purpose?
The expectations on Wembanyama all the more baffling. To think that a 19-year-old can come into a struggling franchise and turn everything around may not be realistic. And even worse, it may not even be fair to the young man.
You proving our point. I'm sorry. Yes, Chad, it's correct. If you recruit a 6'2" dominant scorer, you can't have a fucking great rebounder. I'm sorry. If you try to get a 6'2" slash scorer, you can't get a rebounder out of him. I'm sorry.
Ironically, the best turnaround directly caused by a rookie in modern NBA history was by Tim Duncan. After the Spurs drafted Duncan, their win total jumped from 20 wins in 1997 to 56 wins in 1998. A 36-win jump in Timmy's first season with the team and a championship in his second season.
Damn.
This is by far the greatest leap a team has ever seen simply by adding a rookie to their roster. Larry Bird was another immediate franchise-altering player for the Celtics, but that was nearly half a century ago.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Wembanyama to even add any type of major impact because the league is so dominant. There's so many players averaging 20 points right now that is crazy. There's so many players doing 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. There's so many walking triple-doubles in the league. It's so hard for Wembanyama to make a dominant impact. Even if he's an incredible defensive talent like they want him to be, like a Rudy Gobert, I don't know, Chat.
LeBron couldn't do it, KD couldn't do it, Steph and Michael took years to pull it off, and yet somehow we don't just want, but we expect this 19-year-old kid to do it. I really think some fans don't understand the pressure that they are putting on Wembanyama. He could be great, amazing, injury-free, generational, and to expect this level of excellence out of him could still be far too much. Over the past 25 seasons, the average of him could still be far too much.
People just be doing shit. Who the hell in what magazine, what interview brought this man to the Eiffel Tower to go tween? Why the hell is he at the Eiffel Tower dribbling? What interview is this? What magazine? What spreadsheet? What are they doing?
Far too much. Over the past 25 seasons, the average MVP finishes the season with a win share total of 15.2. Over that same time span, the average All-Star has a win share total of 10. And among the 450 active players in any given season, the average single-season win share total across the league is just 2.
All right, now this is the part of basketball I don't understand. I don't know the win share shit. This is where my old ideas is falling apart. I don't know what none of this means.
Now, over the last 25 years, among #1 overall picks in their rookie season, the average win share total is 4.2. That number jumps to 5.7 in their second season and then hits 7.9 in their third season. But by season 4, many of these once prodigies start to lose their minutes. They fall out of the rotation, they fail to adapt their game and skill sets to the NBA, and the average win share falls to 6.7. And by season 5, by the time we as fans have made a decision on these players, the average win share total falls to just 5.9. About the same as the average starter in the NBA. This is the career of an average #1 overall pick in the NBA. We see #1 overall players as the guys who went on to have great careers.
Yes, that's who we see.
Guys like Kyrie,
LeBron, AD,
and Anthony Davis.
I say Blake Griffin too. Blake Griffin was fun to watch. Blake Griffin. Lob City ain't make it far in the playoffs, but they were fun.
And LeBron. But we forget that far more often, these #1 overall picks pan out to be players like Markelle Fultz.
Oh, you see he ain't put Blake Griffin on it. You sneaky bitch.
Andrea Bargnani, and Kwame Brown. But even for the groundbreaking prospects who are league ready the day they put on an NBA jersey, the result is still rarely a championship or real hardware or impact. Over the last 25 years,
There's nothing.
Either way you look at it, Victor might not be LeBron, but Scoot Henderson damn sure gonna be a superstar in this league. That man got a bag, he got size, he got a jump shot. Yeah, Scoot Henderson is definitely for sure a safe bet.
Players who had the largest impact in their rookie season were Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin, followed by the 12 next best rookies of the last 25 seasons. You are looking at the greatest rookie seasons of this century.
Kyrie only third on best rookie seasons? That man was Mr. Fourth Quarter bucket getter. Damn. Ben Simmons had a better rookie. You know what, man? I hate this.
And yet, only half of them were even the best player on their team by the end of their first season in the league. But I want y'all to take a guess at how many of these players even made the playoffs in their rookie season. Got your answer?
Who made? He said 2.
2.
Iggy and Kirilenko.
Which means out of the 15 best rookies who've entered the league over the last 25 seasons, not a single one of them led their team to the playoffs. And among these same 15 rookie sensations, by their 3rd season in the league, only 4 of them managed to lead their team to the playoffs as the best player on the team. It is very hard to win in the NBA.
Yeah, trust me, Chad. My Wembanyama simulation, he not even winning yet. Yeah, trust me, Chad. It's not easy. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's not easy. Scoot ain't got nothing on Victor. He's chosen by the gods.
But like some sort of gambling addict, us NBA fans like to count the wins while ignoring the losses. Somehow the countless misses we've had are outweighed by the 1 or 2 we got right. Is Victor Wembanyama the most hyped NBA prospect of all time? Well, I'm not sure.
Yes,
Some
he
experts
is.
that have been around a lot longer than I have would like to say so. But if my memory serves me right, I can recall a 17-year-old
That's why Melo should have got Rookie of the Year. Shut your dumb ass up, bitch. Now I'm about to get mad. Why would you bring up that conversation? You know
LeBron James drawing so much attention that he managed to have an Ohio high school basketball game featured on national television.
against Oak Hill. Oh, Jesus.
Long before social media, the likes of LeBron James, Patrick Ewing, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were all household names before they even put on an NBA jersey. I don't know if Wembanyama is at that level of hype at the moment,
Yeah, he not.
but he's
I think the Ball brothers were more hyped than this. I think they had more fans, more celebrity. He not that famous, if we being honest. You ask the streets who Wembanyama, they probably know who that is. That's such a weird name for you not to know what that means.
getting there. And with that amount of hype comes overwhelming pressure to perform. It's easy to sit back and watch this kid play, see his incredible tools in action, 7 feet 5 inches tall, 8-foot wingspan with a silky smooth jump shot and world-class defensive instincts, and one can only assume he will find immediate or even eventual success in the form of championships and cultural impact in the NBA. Coaches and scouts who have been around the game for decades and have seen every prospect rise through the ranks over the years are saying Victor Wembanyama is better than all of them. It would take an era-defining talent to come into the NBA and transform a franchise into a dynasty. But if Victor is everything we think he is, he may just be the next player to do it.
Yeah, that man Wembanyama overpowered in 2K. I can't stop him. When he on the court, he at the rim every possession. I actually want him to have to take more jump shots because it's so easy for him to get to the rim when I'm playing against that fucking Spurs team. Nigga look like a spider.